YouTube, what's up? If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you already been here, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. And if you're just now tuning in, hopefully I can give you a reason to hit that thumbs up button. Let's get into this cut. Combing my client's hair out right here, and this just gives you a sense of direction and which way the hair is growing. So when you get ready and go through it and hit at that desired length that the client wants, you won't get snagged up or misread the direction of the hair, which will cause a gap in the client's head, a bald spot, and you don't want that. Working with our corded Andis Master, and I know in this day's age you don't see too many people working with corded clippers, definitely on YouTube at least, working with corded clippers. You just don't see it, but it's a powerhouse to me, a workhorse. Just an all-around clipper for me. You can do everything with it, so that's why it's always gonna be in my arsenal. I don't think about putting it down or replacing it with nothing else. That's just my personal opinion about this clipper right here. It's a classic, man. You can't beat it. As you can see, man, it's just powering through the hair, getting our client to his desired length, and we have no guard on with our blades open. And the thing about this, man, is just getting it all to that one length and just making it look smooth with no dark spots. And this clipper has enough power to do that just in a few strokes, and that's, like I said, that's why I keep it, and it's helping me get the job done. And if anything, we just do a few more strokes over the dark spot and we got them down to the the desired length. And yeah, you can do the same thing, man. This is a very cheap clipper compared to what these cordless clippers are going to. Definitely great for the beginners. As you can see, we knocking out the dark spots. We're gonna get into it. Lever all the way close right here, creating the first ball guideline, and we don't have a high taper, so we sit in this guideline low as we can take it, and we just making sure it's straight, making sure it's clean. We're not gonna clean it out with the liners right now. This zero gap close enough to where it can get a nice clean line. So we just hit that lever all the way open, and we're creating a second guideline, but it's not really a guideline because I'm gonna go ahead and flick up, with my lever control, fading up into the darker area, into the top. And so we don't have to worry about a guideline. We're gonna go ahead and fade that bulk in by just, with the controlling our wrist. And as you tilt the back end of that clipper up, it actually opens the blade up to like if it's a 1.5 or a 2. All right, I just closed my blade back down, almost to close, but just with a little bit open, so we won't create another ball guideline, but we can blend that ball guideline into the bulk of things. As we go up, we're opening that blade up even more, and just continuing to flick, continue to use your eye and have precision, placing your blade on those areas that need the most help, that needs the most blending out. Sometimes it's gonna fade automatically, sometimes it's not. Some areas just in a type of angle or growing in a way to where it needs a little bit more attention. And as you can see, we got the bulk of things done, and we just hitting a few dark spots right there with our corners, and that's what you want to do. And then you move on, because we're not getting it perfect right now. We're just getting it good enough to where we have a fade locked in. Once we put that line on, we'll be able to see even more details. Getting locked in with one great pair of all-around clippers is the best thing you can do, because you're gonna be more persistent. You're gonna understand that clipper and know what to do in any situation. That's what these clients are coming to you for, just for consistent, great cuts. The thing about fades, you want to be clean, and it's all about details. And when you talk about details, you gotta slow down. Speed will come later, but get your hand-eye coordination right first. We're dealing with a smaller area right here, so we can't use our whole blade. And so understanding that precision and how to make the tip of your blade, using the ends of your blades, how to hit directly where you're trying to go. And then you have hair growing in different directions, so it's all about your wrist control and placing the tip of that blade to knock out those dark areas, to make that blend just so detailed. And see right there behind his ear, his hair is growing at a slant, so I had to turn my clippers, and I'm knocking down the bulk right here to help prep for my lineup once I get to that point. So it's gonna be on point once I get there. That's one thing you gotta understand about barbering is 80% of starting a haircut is the prep work. the other 20, the 10% is when you pull out them liners, and you know, and it's game time. And then you got the detailing, because once you put that line on, you're gonna see everything you need to touch up. And so yeah, the other 20, that's game time. That's when you showing out. And you know, it's funny how, you know, barbering is a lot like life. You know, cutting hair is a lot like life. But here we go, we got our liners, and we just hitting that bottom, balling that bottom spot out. Which you would see most barbers, you know, put that ball guideline with it and go ahead and just, you know, do that then. But you know, I do it a little different. You know, I go ahead and once I get ready for the line, I clean out that bottom of the fade then, and then I just shoot straight onto my liners. And these are my Andis corded T-out liners. These are the GTXs, but it don't have a GTX blade on it. It has the original blade, and it's tap and go, as you can see. Not wasting too much time. That's why you want your liners on point. You don't want to be trying to put a line on them, like you want to put it on them, but you want to make sure that you have your stuff zero gap properly, where they're not biting or cutting anybody. And you know, that's very important. Where you get your confidence at in, you know, fading to the lining up is your precision and hand-eye coordination and using your corners. As you can see, we're around the ear right here. And you know, when you go too high, you know what I mean, on somebody's lineup where they say take them back, it's usually because of your hand-eye coordination, you know, and your wrist control. You want to just be precise in where you placing your blade. You can't have a shaky hand. That's the main thing you have to work on. So hand-eye coordination is how, you know, your precision or where you placing your blade is how you keep from taking somebody back. And just your blades being on point to be able to hit those finest hairs. And with the T-out liners here, you can do all your adjustments yourself. You know, they got YouTube videos where you can, you know, play with and get to understand, you know, what you're working with. And that's how you keep from pushing anybody back, man. Just have those blades on point, but not biting nobody. Having great hand-eye coordination and using your corners just like when you fade, and just placing that tip on that blade and just working down from up and up from down like you see me doing. And that's gonna give you that nice detail line even before raising. All right, we're on the front line, and we're gonna go with our vertical bars. And you wanna just continue to practice this, you know, continue to practice this. You know, it's all about repetition. We start with the vertical bars, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the farthest hair. We're not trying to put them all the way in the game the first time. The way I explain it, a lot of people get nervous on the front line, you know, because it is the first thing that somebody sees, and they want to do their best. But the best thing you can do is go for a sloppy copy first. And a sloppy copy is like when you write a paper, it's you just trying to get something. You're trying to get a frame, and that's what I'm doing here. And then you want to go towards the middle of the head, all the way to the left, or all the way from the center, all the way to the left, or from the center, all the way to the right, whichever one you want to do. It's not a right or wrong way, but you want to start in the middle and go over. I don't know if I have any, you know, mathematicians or anything like that, but you learn in school that, you know, the straightest line is the shortest line. So starting in the middle and going over to the left, starting in the middle and going all the way to the right, that's gonna be your straightest line that you can possibly get. So keep that in mind while you lining up, and just keep his head still. You know, this is a kid, and hey, they gonna move. You know, even grown people move too, but you get your steady hand working with the most shaky clients. That's where you get your most practice. You know, it's not gonna be perfect every client. You're gonna have to learn how to deal with people that don't know how to be still, who, you know, they may be a little awkward, but that's what you're gonna have to deal with. But as a barber, as a professional, you're gonna have to keep your poise. You're gonna have to, you know, keep that. See, look, keep falling asleep. You're gonna have to keep your poise about you. You know, don't get frustrated, don't get aggravated. Stay in your zone. You know, ask them to wake up. You know, talk to them, be vocal about it. If you got a client, like I said, he might be a little awkward, let them know, hey, I need you to hold your mouth like this, or hold your head like this. You have to open up your mouth. So you're if you want to do your best work, if you want to put your best work out there, we just pull that razor out and we holding that thing at a 45-degree angle, and we stretching the skin. We taking our time, just being real precise. And I use a 1, 2, 3 count. 1, 2, 3. I don't do it anymore, but it's so, I done ripped it out so much to where it's like, I don't have to, it's automatic. And that's what you want to do, is muscle memory with barbering. And you know, you want to be able to just jump into that mode, jump into that zone. And I'm just checking, I just checked the mirror right there, that's important. Check the mirror. And as I'm filming, like, I'm definitely checking the haircut out, you know, just to show y'all, like, as a master barber, like, it don't stop. Like, you still looking at your work. Like, I just don't put people in the game automatically and not check my work. So I'm gonna show y'all, you know, my corrections that I'm doing and how I work in real life time. And that left side right there is lower than his right side. So what I'm doing, I'm just adjusting. I'm not hitting them back, you know, so much to where, you know, it's right on point at the first time, but I'm inching him back, and that's the best way. Like I said, the straightest line is the shortest line, so I go as inches back as much as I can, so we won't miss the mark and getting it even with that left side, with that right side over there. Yeah, that right side. So still checking, still looking, see? So, you know, it's no shame in my game. It shouldn't be no shame in yours. And see, look, we checking him. He on point, and we're gonna keep him on point. Real consistent client, man. And that's the thing about barbering. You gotta get to know your client's heads, you know, from every end, from every angle. But I know this is a real basic video, and we're gonna stick to the basics all the way through. We're never gonna leave that, but we're gonna advance. We're gonna slowly but surely advance on this channel. So y'all stay with me, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff to keep the channel going. And yeah, man, it's Nate. Let's keep this thing running. I'm out.